Hi everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to your English lesson. Um, Before I get started, I just wanted to say how great it was to see your amazing writing from last week. I absolutely loved reading your stories, and as soon as I have my video working, I will be able to hopefully share those with you because I'm having a little bit of trouble. But for today, I'm really excited because we're starting our poetry unit, which is one of the most fun units we get to do in our English lessons. And we're going to get started. So let's just dive right in. So today I have a sentence to get started with that I know you've seen before. We've done this as one of our starters, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to read the sentence to you. The mouse took a stroll through the deep, dark woods. So, your job today is to have a look at the verb, which is stroll in green, and have a look at the two adjectives. And I want you to choose a different verb and different adjectives to go in this sentence that will make it still make sense. So, pause the screen, have a little go at writing this sentence, but changing the verb and the adjectives. Right, welcome back. I can't wait to see what you've changed your verbs and adjectives to. And please remember to take a picture and send your work in to the email address because I can't wait to see it. Okay, so today we're going to start by exploring poetry. So we're going to listen to a poem. We're going to express an opinion about a poem, so if we like it or not, and give a reason why. And I can join in with repeated phrases in a poem, and I can learn some new vocabulary in a poem. So lots to do today. Before we get started, just having a little look at what is poetry. So these are some ideas that we've come up with in class the last time we looked at poetry. So poetry expresses emotions, so it can also often describe how we're feeling. It's meant to be performed or read out loud. It often repeats certain words and phrases. Sometimes it can be funny, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's like a song, and sometimes it's sung. And here's some links for Owl and the Pussycat videos that are animated, either animated or sung, but I will make sure I put these links in the description for the video so that you can access them as well by copying and pasting. All right, so we're going to start this week by learning some poetry by Edward Lear. Edward Lear was a really famous poet quite a long time ago, and he wrote a lot of poems for children. So the poem we're going to learn today is The Owl and the Pussycat. Can you have a prediction? We're going to pause the video and see who do you think the characters will be in this poem? Remember, we can have lots of clues. We've got the title, we've got the illustration. So, who do you think is in this poem? That's right. This poem is about an owl and a pussycat. So, I'm going to read it through to you once. So, just have a little listen, see what it sounds like, see if you can follow the story. And then we're going to I'll tell you what we're going to do after. So for now, just enjoy the story. Just enjoy listening to the poem. The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar, "Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, what a beautiful pussy you are." Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing! Oh, let us be married, too long have we tarried, but what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. "Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring?" said the piggy. "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. All right, so please feel free to rewind that and listen to it as much as you need to or would like to. And now our next step is we're going to try and figure out if there are any words in this poem that we don't recognize or we don't know what they mean. I've had a go with some of the children in class at underlining some of the words that we didn't know. But please feel free to pause the video and have a go at writing down any of the words that you don't understand, because there might be some that are the same and there might be some that are different to what I've come up with. So I'm going to read it again a little slower this time. And if I say a word and you don't recognize what that word is or you don't know what it means, just pause the video and jot it down on your list. So, the owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long have we tarried. But what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose? His nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. And again, just pause the video and write down any words that you don't recognize or you don't understand. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Said the piggy, I will. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon, they danced by the light of the moon. Lovely. So now you should have a little list of a few different words that you didn't recognize. If you send that list in to the email address, if it's a word that I don't talk about in this lesson, then I can talk about it on the video for tomorrow, or I can send you back an email to help to explain it. So please make sure that you send your list in, especially if it's a little bit different than the one that I came up with. So I'm going to have a look at the second page of the poem, because there's quite a few words that we've underlined as words that we don't quite recognize. So Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl. So we talked about the word elegant before, and we know that elegant means quite classic, quite beautiful, someone very attractive. And we know that, so she's paying him a compliment. She's saying something nice, you elegant fowl. And a fowl is a type of bird. So an owl, we know, is a bird. So she's saying, you elegant bird, you beautiful bird. The next word that we've underlined is charmingly. So in the sentence, it says, how charmingly sweet you sing. So we know that charmingly is an adverb. It's describing how the owl sings. And if something is charming, that means we really enjoy it. It's made us smile. It's something we really enjoy. So she's saying how charmingly sweet you sing is, and what a lovely, wonderful singer you are. Then she says, oh, let us be married, too long have we tarried. So tarried is a very old word, and it means when you wait for a long time to do something. So she's saying we've delayed it. We haven't gotten married. We've waited on it. But now it's time that we get married because we've waited too long. But what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. So bong tree is, again, this is a word that Edward Lear has kind of made up. And in a lot of the illustrations, you can see that the bong tree is so if you look at the picture, you can see that the bong tree is a really old, it's a kind of a tropical tree. So what they're saying is that they sailed away, they were on the sailboat for a long time, and eventually they came to a faraway place with really beautiful trees and plants. And you can see they have a piggy wig, so a pig, a wild pig living on this lovely, beautiful island with the bong tree and the pig. So the piggy wig is a pig, and with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling And a shilling is it's money, but it's money that we don't use anymore. Now we use pounds and pennies and notes when we're paying for things, but a shilling is like an old coin. So they're asking the pig, "Are you willing to sell just for 1 shilling your ring?" And the pig says, "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. So that's right, you did hear that correctly. The turkey is the one who's marrying them. And we know that poems are often very funny, so it shouldn't surprise us that the turkey is the one who's getting them married. They dined on mince, and we know mince is, we talked about that when we talked about Sixton or Sid. So mince is like mince meat, it's like ground up meat, and slices of quince. So quince is a special kind of fruit. So I had to look it up. So I have a little picture here for you of quince. So they ate this lovely fruit, which they ate with a runcible spoon. So a runcible spoon is a spoon that you can still get today, but it's a really old spoon. They used to use it in the olden days a lot, and it's kind of a mix between a spoon and a fork. So you can see in the picture, it's a really old spoon and a fork. So they ate their fruit with that special spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. So there's a few words in that poem that were either quite old or quite unusual to us. So hopefully now that we've had a little chat about them, it makes it a little bit clearer about what those words are. And we're going to do a little bit more work on the words as well in just a moment. But before we do, I was wondering if you noticed any repetition in the poem. So remember, repetition is where something is repeated. So I'm going to have a go well, I'd like you to have a go at pausing the screen. I'm going to change the different slides, and I'd like you to read this with an adult or a friend or to yourself. And I want you to see if you notice any phrases that are getting repeated a lot in the poem or that you can hear getting repeated. And if you want to rewind the video to where I was reading it, please go ahead. And we're going to see if we can notice what are the phrases that get repeated. Lovely. So you've had a go at looking at the phrases that get repeated. And this time when I read the poem, I'd really like it if you can join in with me on those parts of the poem that get repeated, because that's part of the fun of telling a poem, is being able to get to enjoy telling it. So please join in where you see those repeated phrases. The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Did you join in with you are? I thought I could hear you. Pussy said to the owl, You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long have we tarried, but what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Said the piggy. I will. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. Well, thank you for repeating with me. And you're off to a great start to learning this poem. And by the end of this unit, you'll be able to perform this poem to someone at home with me. But we're going to practice it a lot this week. So well done on your first day of it. Now your challenge is, and I'll make this nice and small so you can see it. So we have 4 different boxes and a little space underneath for you to label. So we've learned a few new words from this poem today. And if you forget what they mean, please feel free to rewind the video and go back and see either the picture beside them or the way that I've explained them if you need a bit of a reminder. But we've got 4 different words inside the box: fowl, quince, shilling, and runcible spoon. So these are all things, these are all nouns from the poem. And it's your job to draw a little picture, just like we do in our reading lesson, to show what the word means and to label it. So when I said fowl, we talked about how the pussycat said to the owl, you wonderful fowl, or you elegant fowl. We know that fowl is a type of bird, or we're talking about birds in general. So if we write down fowl, then you can draw a picture of a bird. You want to draw its beak, its little eyes. I'm sure your drawing will be a lot nicer than mine, because it always is. So just like we do in our reading lesson, we're going to label the word and draw a little picture to show what that noun means. And this is going to help us because as we go through the week and we tell the poem, we want to remember what some of those tricky words mean so that we know the story when we're telling it. So please have a go at writing down these 4 words and having a go at drawing what they mean, and send a picture of your work into the email address because we can't wait to see it. And happy listening to the links of the poem. And I will see you tomorrow.